Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So it does appear that the Glory Store in fact has been buffed, but we do not have any forum announcement for it, and the buff is also slightly confusing because the quantities have increased, but so has the cost, so it kind of works out pretty much the same for some of the items. Nonetheless, it ultimately still is a good thing, I believe, and I'm going to explain exactly why. At the same time, I don't think this buff is kind of enough, and if they are buffing Glory Store in this type of manner, then they need to do it like every 2 or 3 months for sure, because whether we like it or not, the game has changed a lot since the release of Necropolis in the Cyber Weekend and everything else that happened. And especially for higher end players, most of the stores are pretty much extremely outdated because Valiant daily crystals, if you are Valiant, can offer you greater value than the resources, the total resource that you get from some of these stores. And that kind of seems off. That kind of seems odd, especially. None of these stores really have like Valiant specific updates, as far as I know. Maybe this is the first one, but if this is exclusive to Valiants, then I feel like it's kind of missing the mark. And I'm not entirely sure exactly how all the values have changed, but the first thing that I definitely noticed is that the increased amount of tier 3 alpha catalyst fragments. We can see that I think previously it was 4.5k and now 13.5k. So they have tripled the total amount of tier 3 alpha and tier 6 basic that we can acquire here, which is actually kind of good, especially for Valiant players. So I'm going to break that down in a bit. Here we can see that if you get tier 6 basic catalyst fragments, then you get 17,000 now. I believe previously it was 5,700. And we have tier 6 class catalysts as well. Doubled. No, wait, we previously could buy the 10 as well. But what they have added, unfortunately in extremely small quantity though, is the 3 tier 6 CC selectors, which were previously non-existent in the Glory Store as well, offering us a bit more targetability, which is always appreciated. So now currently, together with the battleground selectors, we can for sure get 0.4 catalyst, so 40% of a tier 6 CC of the class that we want to target. And that's better. I wish it was more, but that is better. Now, the reason why I'm not as kind of pissed off about this update, because let's face it, it does seem somewhat underwhelming overall in the grand scheme of things. But adding 3 tier 6 CC selectors, given that tier 6 CC in general is kind of the resource that everybody's chasing at the moment, it's not a big deal. Adding 15% tier 6 CC it just feels a bit meh. At the same time, there is a fairly decent upside, at the very least, in my opinion, because one of the bigger problems that I have, noticed myself, in addition to heard people comment about, is that the Valiant daily crystals put your tier 6 basics and tier 3 alphas like really out of whack, because some people get a lot more tier 3 alphas and then the tier 6 basics are lagging and vice versa, and you always need equal amounts basically. And before this update, I was like 6 or 7 tier 6 basic catalysts ahead, pretty much, over my tier 3 alphas. And now, thanks to Glory Store, I will definitely be able to equalize those things out a bit more. And that means I'll actually be able to use all of my catalysts. Because, even right now, I maxed out in the Battleground Store all tier 3 alphas, didn't purchase any of the tier 6 basics, just because, there's no need for that right now for me, because I wouldn't be able to use those catalysts anyways. So here's the reason why I like the Glory Store. Even though the costs also have increased, and obviously the total glory that we spend in the Glory Store hasn't really changed or will not change by much, the fact that we can select much more of one or the other resource is quite a huge deal to answer the problem that Valiant crystals kind of present when, you go on a streak of getting like 3 or 4 tier 6 basics and no tier 3 alphas, for instance, which, happens to quite a lot of people with this game's RNG. And I kind of like that. That is the best part of it. Overall, I don't think they did a great job updating the Glory Store. I do think that if they are updating the Glory Store by, such a relatively small amount of change, we only get extra 15% tier 6 CC added to it, for instance. Then, at the very least, I think this is something that will definitely serve a good function. Where we get, if you are a Valiant player or you're aiming to be Valiant, then this soon will be useful to you as well. Because you do get a lot of resource, you do get quite a lot of tier 6 basic tier shell from this every single week. Because you can get 2 of these daily crystals, 1 from the web store, 1 from the game, and it all adds up. And then, just kind of like getting the crystals that you need and increasing the total amount available in the economy, I still think is a good thing. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Could the changes themselves, again, I think are fairly poor, but I have been trying to find silver linings. I have been trying to find the good things about this stuff when I'm displeased with something that Kabam does, and here I can. Here I genuinely feel quite confident that those changes, as they are, will still be useful to me in my account, even if they don't increase the value of the Glory Store that much. They definitely will be. The store will be more helpful, starting today and next week and the week after than it has been for quite a while. Even if I can't get everything from it. Right. So that's the point. We can also go to the forums where you can see that just me, Glory Store has been buffed. Can anyone confirm? I'm Valiant. It does appear that it has been buffed for Valiants. Definitely been buffed. No announcement though. Same one on my end. Valiant for Paragon 2. Okay, so fair enough. So for Paragon as well. It did increase, and Paragon, I specifically remember this basic being doubled for the same amount. So I think for Paragons it doubled for the same amount. For Valiants it tripled for the same amount. Something like that. In terms of tier 6 basic tier 3 alpha. Yeah, I don't like tier 6 CC limited to 3. I don't like just slightly less. There you go. So, definitely. Yeah, it 100% has been buffed. They just increased the total amount. Cost also increased. Overall, the same cost of a fragment. I think Valiants do get a better deal off, though. So should remove the increasing cost. I actually agree with that. I think this might be the deal for Paragons. And again, I think Valiants can get 2.15 for 380 now. So I do think the cost went down slightly. The same thing. I don't think it's quite the same, but okay. I will definitely keep my eye peeled on this because, as I said, Kabam has not made any announcement as of yet about it. I checked pretty much everywhere. There's nothing here. Still to make the good choices and the no change announcement, and here as well. So we don't have any, exact news from Kabam where we can also compare to what it used to be to what it is now. Ultimately, again, it does seem at the very least more useful. Do I wish they did more with it? Absolutely. Is it going to be better and more useful? 100%. Let me know what you guys think about the Glory Store buff and what will be your strategy when spending Glory, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about